President Dr. Mohammad Muiz inaugurates the Judicial Year 2026 at a ceremony held at the Center for Higher Secondary Education. Committee on Independent Institutions of Parliament endorses a constitutional amendment bill that would unify presidential and parliamentary elections and redefine the length of the legislative term. And a specialized center for the treatment of neurological diseases and stroke opens at Dharmavamta Hospital.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz departs for the Federal Republic of Germany on an official visit from the 9th to the 13th of February 2026 at the invitation of German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier. During the visit, President Mohammad Muiz is scheduled to hold high-level talks with Frank-Walter Steinmeier and senior members of Germany's government. The program also includes a business forum aimed at strengthening economic engagement between the two countries. The president will visit Humboldt Universitat zu Berlin, where he will speak on the Maldives' experience in climate change adaptation. He is also due to address the German Council on Foreign Relations, presenting the Maldives' perspective on the role of the ocean in foreign policy. The visit coincides with the 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the Maldives and Germany, which were formally established on the 5th of July, 1966. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz inaugurates the Judicial Year 2026 at a ceremony held at the Center for Higher Secondary Education, or CHSE, marking the formal commencement of a new year for the judiciary. The annual inauguration of the Judicial Year provides an opportunity to review the judiciary's achievements over the past year and to outline priorities and objectives for the year ahead. The ceremony also served as a platform for engagement among judges and personnel across the judicial sector. A special segment of the event was dedicated to honoring retired judges in recognition of their distinguished service to the judiciary. During the ceremony, Chief Justice of the Maldives, Abdul Ghani Mohammed, delivered the annual judicial address. In recognition of their long-standing service and commitment, President Mohammad Muiz presented plaques of honor to retired judges and judicial staff. In addition, plaques of appreciation were awarded to 7 individuals for their significant contributions to the judicial sector, with the awards presented by the Chief Justice. Chief Justice Abdul Ghani Mohammed describes the government's budget allocation for the judiciary in 2026 as promising, saying it provides a strong foundation to advance reforms, strengthen independence, and accelerate digital transformation within the justice system.
Speaking at a ceremony marking the start of the Judicial Year 2026, Abdul Ghani Mohammed outlined key priorities for the year ahead, including major steps to digitalize court processes under the Maldives 2.0 initiative. He said the current administration is working to remove long-standing obstacles that have hindered the judiciary for years, noting that the dedicated budget allocation reflects the government's commitment to safeguarding judicial independence and delivering tangible improvements. According to the Chief Justice, 49 new public service investment or PSI initiatives are scheduled to begin this year, alongside the completion of 10 ongoing projects aimed at strengthening judicial infrastructure and services. As part of the digitalization drive, he said the Department of Judicial Administration has begun modernizing criminal and debt record clearance by establishing a dedicated digital database. The reform will replace a manual system that has been in place for decades. He added that a new application is also being developed to digitally document submissions and discussions presented by both sides in cases before the Judiciary Committee. In addition, an integrated case management module is expected to be introduced in all courts in the Malay region by June, with plans to extend the system to densely populated islands in the atolls thereafter. The Chief Justice said these initiatives are intended to improve efficiency, transparency, and accountability across the judiciary and to ensure the justice system delivers timely and effective outcomes for the public.
The Committee on Independent Institutions of Parliament endorses a constitutional amendment bill that would unify presidential and parliamentary elections and redefine the length of the legislative term. Introduced on behalf of the administration, the measure represents a significant restructuring of the country's electoral framework.
The committee's deliberations included consultations with the Elections Commission of Maldives, or ECM, the Attorney General, and representatives of political parties. A majority of these stakeholders expressed support for the legislation, reflecting broad agreement on the need for reform. The bill requires that elections for parliamentarians and the president be conducted simultaneously. It also establishes a revised calculation for the parliamentary term, stipulating that future legislative elections will coincide with the presidential election held under Article 110 of the Constitution. Under the new framework, the parliamentary term will span 5 years beginning on the 1st of December. The Assembly will dissolve upon the expiration of this tenure, and the inaugural sitting of the newly elected parliament must convene on the same date. The legislation specifies that the ongoing 20th parliament will conclude its term on the 1st of December 2028. This adjustment shortens its tenure, which under existing constitutional provisions was scheduled to end in 2029. As a result, the next parliamentary election and the first sitting of the new assembly must take place by the revised date. The bill was introduced by Ibrahim Falah, parliamentarian for Unguradu, and passed by a majority of members present at the committee meeting. The administration has argued that synchronizing presidential and parliamentary elections responds to a long-standing public demand. Officials contend that holding both elections concurrently will not only increase voter turnout, but also reduce the financial costs associated with conducting separate polls.
The government reaffirms its commitment to making every Maldivian a healthy citizen as a cornerstone of its development agenda.
With a dual focus on disease prevention and equitable healthcare access, the administration's aim to revolutionize the nation's healthcare sector, reducing reliance on overseas treatment and expanding critical services nationwide. In a landmark presidential address last week, key advancements in healthcare were outlined, including the launch of 2 groundbreaking initiatives, the National Center for Neuroscience and Stroke and the country's first thalassemia DNA laboratory. The newly inaugurated National Center for Neuroscience and Stroke marks a significant leap in treating neurological disorders, offering specialized care through advanced robotic technology and a nationwide network for stroke response. The president emphasized that this facility will elevate neurological treatment standard, with the country's only neonatal neurology specialist now based at the center. Addressing a long-standing gap in thalassemia care, the government has introduced DNA testing at a public hospital for the first time. The automated DNA laboratory will detect 27 hemoglobin mutations, improving diagnostic accuracy and treatment for thalassemia patients previously dependent on NGO services. Further reforms include relocating the Thalassemia Center to Horomales Orange here, plans for a dedicated thalassemia hospital, free bone marrow transplants, and financial support for affected children. The administration is also spearheading an environmental healthcare system to promote disease prevention and early detection, alongside a National Disability Service and Therapy Center and a National Fertility Center in 2024. With the health sector receiving the largest budget allocation this year, the government's vision for a robust, inclusive healthcare system is continuing to take shape.
A specialized center for the treatment of neurological diseases and stroke opens at Dharma Mata Hospital, marking a major expansion of advanced healthcare services in the Maldives.
The National Center for Neuroscience and Stroke was inaugurated at a special ceremony at Dharmavanta Hospital by Chief Executive Officer of the Male City Group of Hospitals, or MCGH, Ibrahim Abdul Razzaq Halim. The establishment of new and enhanced health services has been identified as a key government priority. In his presidential statement, President Dr. Mohammad Muiz said specialized medical services would be expanded in the Greater Male area. He said the opening of the Neuroscience and Stroke Center is part of that effort and will elevate the standard of neurological care in the Maldives. Speaking at the ceremony held to launch the center, CEO of MCGH, Ibrahim Abdul Razzaq Halim, said the center will utilize advanced medical technologies, including robotic systems, to ensure rapid and effective treatment for stroke patients. He said the center will be linked with regional hospitals, enabling patients across the country to access high-quality neurological care regardless of location. Furthermore, he said the center brings together some of the country's most experienced specialists, including the first local neurologist, Ahmad Rashid, first neurosurgeon, Ali Niaf, and first pediatric neurologist, Samahat, who will provide specialized services at the facility. He added that further initiatives are planned this year at Dharmavanta Hospital and Indira Gandhi Memorial Hospital, or IGMH, to expand and strengthen healthcare services nationwide.
The government announces a comprehensive plan to redevelop the historic precinct housing the Atolvihara shops in Male, an initiative aimed at expanding commercial opportunities while preserving the architectural heritage of the capital's waterfront.
In his presidential address at the inauguration session of Parliament on the 5th of February, President Dr. Mohammad Muiz set out the administration's vision for the redevelopment. He noted that the project would be undertaken without compromising the cultural identity of the existing structures. The government confirmed its decision to overhaul the row of shops, with the president underscoring his commitment to ensuring that revenue generated from these assets directly benefits the nation's outlying atolls. The Atolvihara shops, located in Male's bustling market district, consists of 20 outlets, each designated to represent a specific atoll. Rental income from these properties was historically allocated in part to the respective atolls. Over time, however, the financial model has faltered. Payments have been interrupted, administrative management has been criticized as inadequate, and funds have often remained undeposited for extended periods. Seeking to address these inefficiencies, the president announced plans to transform the area into a modern commercial front. The administration intends to open the project to investors by mid-year, inviting partners to collaborate with the government. He stressed that the development would integrate existing infrastructure to preserve the site's historical essence. Adam Sharif Omar, Minister of Cities, Local Government and Public Works, elaborated on the logistical aspects of the plan. He noted that while authenticity must be respected, adjustments are required to align with economic shifts and modern standards. He highlighted the site's centrality to both Male's skyline and its commercial activity, highlighting the redevelopment's focus on maximizing business potential. The market district has long served as the primary hub for inter-atoll trade, facilitating the flow of goods between the capital and the islands. Under the revitalized framework, the government aims to strengthen the management of these shops, ensuring that financial benefits are finally and effectively realized for the communities they represent.
Hong Kong-based carrier Greater Bay Airlines launches charter flights connecting Hong Kong and the Maldives, with the airline's inaugural service receiving a ceremonial welcome at Velana International Airport. The charter operation began on the 8th of February and will run until the 25th of February, with one flight scheduled daily. The services coincide with the peak Chinese New Year travel period, and the travel demand is traditionally high. Greater Bay Airlines, a low-cost carrier based in Hong Kong, is operating the route using Boeing 737-800 aircraft. The airline is currently the only operator offering direct flights between Hong Kong and the Maldives. Tourism authorities note that China is now the Maldives' largest source market. More than 35,000 Chinese tourists have visited the country so far this year, accounting for around 12% of total arrivals. The The Maldives recorded a strong tourism performance in 2025, welcoming a record number of visitors. By the end of the year, Chinese arrivals reached 329,286, making China the single largest contributor to tourist numbers. Maldives National University, or MNU, announces the launch Doctor of Philosophy or PhD programs in 2 flagship fields of applied science and engineering. This initiative is a significant part of MNU's strategic vision to expand higher education opportunities within the country, allowing Maldivian scholars and professionals to pursue the highest level of academic rigor and research without having to go abroad. Prospective applicants have been advised that the deadline for submission of all application forms along with the required statements of intent or research proposals is the 26th of March at 2 p.m. All applications must be submitted exclusively through the university's online portal at portal.mnu.edu.mv. For guidance on preparing the necessary research proposal or statement of intent, interested candidates can contact Mr. Adam Khalid. General inquiries and further information regarding the programs can be obtained by calling the university hotline at 334545 or 55 or through official email channels. Additionally, comprehensive details on the course structures, faculty, and admission criteria are available by contacting the university's Student Services Department or by visiting the official MNU website.